Hey guys, it's Todd from Cryptid Creatures. Have you ever thought about making your own podcast? If so, you got to use Anchor. That's Anchor. The cool thing about Anchor is it's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. They'll distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on multiple platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money on your podcast. The more people that listen, the more money you can make. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Welcome to the show. What's going on, Brian?
Not a whole lot, man.
How you doing? I'm good.
Good.
We got a good show coming up this time.
Yeah, I'm excited.
We got another guest coming on.
Heck yeah. Bigfoot Bri.
Bigfoot Bri's coming on to talk about his experience.
Heck yeah, man.
He had
all about that skunk ape.
He had a skunk ape experience in Florida, so we'll get him on and we'll talk about that.
Should be fun.
See what goes on. So, you ready to bring him on?
Yeah. Right, we can rock and roll.
All right, we'll bring him on. Bigfoot Bri, welcome to the show, man. How's it going?
It's going very well. I really appreciate you guys doing this.
Man,
we're just happy you're here. Yeah, we're happy you're here.
Yeah, we really love you coming on and talking about we got to talk about. What's going on with you right now? What's happening?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say I'm a Marine veteran, and I'd like to say to all my fellow Marines, Semper Fi, thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much. And to all the other branches of service that might be tuned in, thank you for your service.
Mm-hmm.
Not a problem. Thank you. So, Bigfoot Bri, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background, your childhood, where you came from, what you thought about Bigfoot as a kid, what led you up to your encounter, etc. Give us a little history there.
I'm a Pennsylvania boy, born and bred. Never found Bigfoot until at work. I had no work. I worked at GE for 31 years, testing locomotives, had no work a lot of times, and I found them on the internet and found Todd Standing, but just loved all this stuff, and it became a passion of mine. I've been doing it now for about 5 years, going into the woods since about October of 19. All the time before that, I never had time to go to the woods. And the woods for these guys is a ways away from where I lived. So really, really got involved and was talking to everybody at work and actually found a few believers.
Okay.
Good.
Had a very, very good time with it, and it's taken over my life.
What part of Pennsylvania did you grow up in, if you don't mind me asking?
Up in the northwest corner, just outside of Erie, Pennsylvania. We had a small farm, 15 acres. Okay. I hunted, fished, did all that kind of stuff my whole life. And now I don't have any interest in that. I just want to take pictures of the woods and birds and any kind of animals. I ran into a squirrel that I had never seen a color of before.
Which was what color?
It had a black stripe, and it had light gray and brown on its sides, and it was big.
That's a skunk. That's a skunk. I'm kidding. I'm joking. Bigfoot Bri, I'm joking.
Skunks don't climb trees.
No.
No.
But talking about skunks, apparently you did run into a skunk, so to speak, a skunk ape, huh?
Yeah. It's funny how every part of the country has their own pet names. Like Ohio's Grassman, right. Pennsylvania's Bigfoot, Florida's is Skunk Ape. I was my wife and I are full-time RVers, and we do Florida in the winter, and we come up here outside of Roanoke for now for summer, and we are brand new grandparents. Our first grandbaby.
Oh, nice! Congratulations!
Coming home.
Congrats!
But anyway, we were in Florida, and I looked at a map and I saw the Withlacoochee State Forest, and I'm like, well, that's got to be a nice place. So I went over and went down this road called Croom Road, and I can't do a lot of wood stuff. I have a malady in my spine, and it really hampers my ability to walk. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I drove Croom Road for weeks, couple days a week, 3 days a week, that kind of stuff. And one day I stopped and I found a tree structure.
Well, let me stop you right there real quick. So you're just driving around that area, just checking things out? Is that what happened? You're kind of leading up to this?
Just looking for sign.
Okay.
That's what I do. That's how I found my daughter's stuff. It's right off the road. My God.
Wow.
But anyway, yeah, just driving the road looking for sign. And they understand that we are so blindfolded in the day-to-day that we never look.
Okay.
Like this tree structure, there's an older woman that walks up and down this road every day. She had no idea it was here. She walks the road every day. But anyway,
this one you're standing by right now. Before we get into that, when did you find this one? You said last year.
Last summer. Actually, probably late last spring.
Okay, gotcha. So tell us about your morning that day. How it started. What went on? You were going out. You planned to go out and look for some structures or whatever.
The day before the sighting, I was out on Croom Road and I saw a leaner. A tree just leaning against another tree, and it looked suspicious. So I got out, walked over to it, and it is a broken off, burnt tree limb that was stuck in the ground and leaning against a tree. And I thought, well, it's in sand. It has to move very easily, and that'll prove to me that it's not Bigfoot. I'm a big boy. I put my shoulder up against that thing, and I could not budge it. So I'm guessing to myself, 10, 12 feet in the ground, who knows? I couldn't budge it. And then it dawns on me, oh my God, they're here. Oh my God, they're here.
Okay.
So the very next day, which was a Monday, the next day I went out to Croom Road. There's a tree structure that is the biggest thing I've ever seen in my life. One humongous 50-foot tall tree pushed into another one. And every time I drive by it, I got to stop and look at that. It can't be that obvious that it just fell into that other tree. So I went out there and I looked for scratch marks in the trees, and I'm looking all around for prints and anything that could give me some sort of inclination that this was Bigfoot. And for half hour, 45 minutes, just racking my brain, trying to figure out why they did it right there. It's like I am right now. It's right next to the road. And finally I gave up. I'm looking at the road and at the tree, and I decided, that's it. I'm done. I give up. I turned around 180 degrees to look deep into the woods. And this is February. Very little greenage, very open seeing and stuff like that. And I got to about, panning from right to left, I get to about 11 o'clock. And oh my God, I don't know if it's possible for a human to jump left, right, up, and backwards at the same time, but it felt like that's what I did. Okay. Like I jumped out of my skin, because there's two of them. Yeah. They're not 30 yards away.
There was two of them.
Two of them.
Did they see you?
And I was like, oh, they're looking at me.
Wow.
Anyway, the one was fuzzy, and the other one was clear as day, and so clear that I could see her breasts. I'm like, oh my.
When you say fuzzy, Bigfoot Bri, when you say fuzzy,
I mean, it was like a photograph that you saw of Bigfoot, but you couldn't really tell it was Bigfoot. And
really?
I'll explain that later.
Poking.
So anyway, the two of them are standing there. They're like 10 feet apart. And the female was looking at me with very somber eyes, very calm, very collected, no sound, no smell, no nothing, and just watching me. And I'm devastated. Like, this is unbelievable. She did this for me. And that's what I call it. When they come out and say, here I am, take a look, I call it a gift. And every time they do it, I tell everybody, gift. What do you mean you were gifting her? No, she gave me a gift. She showed me herself. But the weird thing was, all I could see was from just above the waist and to her head. I couldn't see anything else of her, so I couldn't even tell how tall she was. I know she was wide. She was a big girl. And the other one, all I could see was like just below the neck and up to the head. So anyway, then it comes to my head, okay, you got to document this. So I grabbed my Note 8, pulled it up, got the camera going, pulled it up and looked at her, and she disappeared.
How did she disappear?
Wait, disappeared, like not on the screen. Everything else around her is on the screen, but she's not. So I pulled the camera down and I looked at it, and I looked over with the naked eye. She's right there. Come on, camera. Pulled it up. She disappeared. That happened 4 times. And now I'm ready to cry. I mean, this may be my one and only chance. So I pulled the camera down and I rebooted it and rebooted the camera and pulled it back up. Same thing.
So she was standing there. They were standing there for quite some time.
Yeah, and I don't know how long it took them or how long they were standing there before I noticed them. She was watching. You could tell. She was very interested, very curious what I was doing. Mm-hmm. And I'm hoping that it was because that was a real tree structure, and she was trying to figure out, why am I interested in this? You're a human. You know nothing about
what are
trees.
you doing in my tree structure is what she was probably thinking.
Exactly. So anyway, I decided the best thing to do was the truck distance to me to the truck right now is probably twice as short as what it was then. I had to go about 80 feet to get to the truck, get a video alternative, come running back, not running. I hustled. I did not run. I did not want to scare them off. Mm-hmm. I come back to my spot, and the right one was still there, and the left one was gone, the female that I could see very well. So I pulled up my binoculars and looked at the right one. It was a, what do you call that bush? Shoot, I can't think of. They're all over Florida. But the bush was somehow, in some way, carved out that it looked like a silhouette.
Oh, so it wasn't what you thought.
Yeah, it wasn't what I thought at all.
Okay.
And I put the binoculars over the other way, and I'm looking around everywhere, frantically trying to find her. Oh, no, I blew my first chance. No video. Damn it. Nobody's going to believe me. Mm-hmm. So I stood there for probably, I don't know, another 20 minutes, glassing everywhere. Nothing. What I didn't understand is why, and I should have figured it out right away, why all I could see was from her basically waist up. And here she's standing on a hillside. That's the reason I couldn't see any more of her.
Okay.
If I'd have known that, I could have walked right to the edge of that and looked down in and maybe seen her again. But anyway, I did not. And then the horror of the night before, I watched 2 Todd Standing videos of Bigfoot killing people. And
Bigfoot killing people? Videos of Bigfoot killing people?
Yes.
Where?
A friend of his, who's a researcher, went out on his own, and when Todd found him, tracked him down, he was shredded.
And there's a video of this?
He just talks it. He doesn't go through it. He just talks it.
Okay.
And there's another one from a horse ranch. I think it was in Tennessee, where Bigfoot destroyed every gifting they did, and destroyed 3 of their horses. And then they called Todd, and he said, "Well, look, these folks hate humans. Get the hell out!" They bought this ranch for nothing, and it was big, and it was all.
There's a reason why. I'm sure it was cheap.
Yeah, exactly. And he told him to do the exact same thing. Don't you say a word. Sell that place and get out from underneath it, and get the hell out of there.
Brian, have you ever heard of Todd Standing?
Yeah, I know who he is.
Yeah.
He was on that Survivor Man, Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
There's a big argument out there, left and right. Todd Standing, not Todd Standing. He's my hero. He's answered questions that I had. When the 4-pole structure got tore apart, I messaged him, and I said, "What did I do wrong?" "Oh, you did nothing wrong. You may find out why they tore it down, but you did nothing wrong. Keep it up." That kind of stuff. Every time I've had a question that nobody else could answer, I went to him and he answered. Mm-hmm. So he's my go-to guy. But anyway, that whole thing came back into the brain. And it's like, this is a female. I've never heard of them being mean, but I don't know where she's at. Holy crap. I don't know where she's at. And I ran back to the truck, jumped in, closed all the windows, and locked all the doors. Yeah, that's going to help.
Yeah.
How tall? So, Bigfoot Bri, how tall do you think she was?
What I could see of her was probably 5 feet. So I'm guessing the bottom part maybe 4 feet. So she was around 9 feet.
And she was standing on a hill. So
yeah, she was standing on a hill, and I could not see the bottom part of her.
And how many?
Oh, go ahead.
How far away from you do you think she was?
not even 30 yards.
Okay.
It was very, very close. It was
pretty good.
What I call
what time?
Danger close.
What time of day was it again?
It was around 5:00 in the evening, starting to get a little dark, and I got to thinking about it. And I know, she's a day watcher. Bigfoot, when they have a home where they go to every day, one shift goes to sleep and one shift stands guard, and I think that's what she was. And the other thing that I noticed too, when I left and went down Croom Road a little bit, I circled to the right a little bit, and I probably went 150 yards, and I could see a pond back in behind there at the bottom of that hill. And I got to thinking about that. Wow, there's not a lot of water sources around here. That's a definite water source. So she may have been hunting over that pond, trying to catch a deer.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get a good look at her face?
Absolutely. She never blinked. She never moved her mouth. She never did anything. It was just a very solemn stare that was not aggressive. You know what I'm saying? She didn't want to scare me, and I'm sure she knew she could.
What did she look like?
Typical. Very well in the sunlight. Her fur did not look dark black like you see a lot of them. It tended toward him being a division between cinnamon and dark brown in that area. She had her hands were out of the view. They were down by her waist. I couldn't see below her waist, so I couldn't see her hands.
What kind of what was her facial features like? Did she look like an ape? Did she look like a human? What did you peg it as?
Sasquatch. Typical. I mean, literally typical.
What I hear is the big black eyes, the boxer nose, the gray skin, the wide mouth. But I'm just trying to get
no color in the eyes whatsoever.
Have you seen anything online or any pictures or anyone drawing that would be the closest fit to what you saw that day? Do you think?
Wow.
Do you think people peg that when they you've seen these artist renderings and whatnot of Bigfoot faces right on there? Has anyone pegged it?
Never anything like hers. She, I mean, if I were to say a genre, she's a typical Bigfoot. She's got the big puffy cheeks. She's got the great big eyes that, her eyes are so big that when you look at her pupils, they're tiny. I mean, absolutely tiny. And even the day, it was not dark or anything like that. So her pupils weren't getting dilated because of lack of light. She never moved. That's what, if you're in a stare contest, you want Bigfoot on your side. She never moved.
I guess I really want to know is how, what the difference is in how they look between Pacific Northwest and East Coast. South.
I can only tell you from what I've seen on her. And when I say she's big, she might have been 8 or 9 feet tall because she had huge shoulders on her and everything else like that, which I always thought the northern Bigfoots, the Canadians, the Alaskans, they're just like the moose up there. They're way bigger than they are down here. But she was good sized. And I was really impressed with that, how big she was.
So she was pretty broad at the shoulder too then?
Oh, absolutely. And she had guns on her. You could see muscle in her upper, in her biceps. You could see guns. And that kind of struck me too.
Wow.
Were you scared? Were you scared at all, Bigfoot Bri?
Oh, of course, absolutely.
Did you go home and look out, peep out your window, wonder if she followed you home? Or, how far away from home?
No, but oh my God, do I have a story about that?
Were you?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, just 2 weeks ago.
All right, well, go on.
We're listening.
All right. I was up here let's see what direction's at. West. just west of the star structure. And I was in my truck. I don't trust these guys. And you know what? Todd Stanley can go out in the woods by himself. Bully for you, man. I'm not going to do it. And I'm right now recruiting people to try and give me a hand. But anyway, I was sitting in my truck on this side of the road toward the star structure, and I was in the passenger seat. And I'm just watching my phone and listening, and it was dead quiet that night. And I mean, right now I can hear some bugs. I didn't hear any bugs that night. There was nothing. So around 9 o'clock, the sound of, think of somebody walking up beside you and shooting a rifle. That's what it sounded like. It was a tree break, and it was danger close. Scared me. Oh, my God, I jumped. And then I thought, oh, wait a minute. If they're here, they want to interact, and that is a sign of aggression. Okay, Marine, let's go. Show them your mettle. Walked out of the passenger side, went all the way around the truck. I'm standing in the middle of the road, and I'm pointing, and I'm talking to them. I'm your friend. I'm not here to hurt you. I'm here to protect you. I want to help you. Just that, all that on and on. And even I put in Sasquatch. I said, look, Sasquatch, I love you guys. I want to help you. And when I stopped talking, and it wasn't very long, just like I said just now, it was very short, and I'm standing there in the middle of the road and absolutely nothing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I know you're right there, big guy. I know you're right there. You would be the only one to come out here and, interact with me and possibly try and scare me off. He's the only one that would. And, we're probably talking a big guy who's 9-10 feet tall. Mm-hmm. And get this, listen to this. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
This is the Virginia. We're south and west of Roanoke, and it's about to turn over. All the leaves are coming out and all that kind of stuff. But on the ground, you can't walk a micro inch to not make sound. That son of a gun walked right up to me. I swear he was 20 feet off the road when he did that tree break. And I even found a stick that looks like it could have been the tree break. But anyway, scared the daylights out of me. And then I got around, went to the other side and started talking to him. Never, ever got a sound out of him. So that ended. The next night, I didn't come up here. It was rainy and drizzly and cold, and screw that. So I'm sitting in my camper and I'm playing on the phone with Bigfoot Believers and Virginia Bigfoot. And at 2:15 a.m., not a knock, a slap on the front door, or the only door of my fifth wheel. My wife and I are full-time RVers. So a slap on the door.
Where you guys at a campground, you said?
No. Let's see. You can look at me.
When this happened. Oh, this happened. Yeah.
Where the road disappears, that's where my fifth wheel is.
Okay.
It's like 300 yards away. Wow. So anyway,
you're in a prime
slap
location.
on the door.
Yeah.
What's that? Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Before you go on, Bigfoot Bri, we were talking yesterday, getting ready for this episode, and you had said you were there, and I'm like, I've heard a lot of stories about Dogman and stuff like that down there. So there's a lot of stuff going on. I would keep your eyes open. More than just Bigfoot.
Every day. When I have to go into town at night, town's a ways. It's probably 10 miles to go be able to get to a store of any kind. And when I come back through here, I literally pray to God, please, one of them walk out in front of me. I want to see them so bad.
So but anyway, you would definitely see another one.
Oh, since there, I told you yesterday, we had a big forest fire north of here, and it's a huge gully, and I'm sure their caves are down in there, and they did a control burn through that gully over 160 acres that went all the way around my daughter's house, and I'm sure they're down there now because I know I've heard 3 kills, and they all exactly the same, one to the other to the other. It was 2 of the weirdest Bigfoot sounds I've ever heard in my life. I can't even describe them. The first thing I thought of was a cow moo, but it wasn't that. It was more male sounding, more growlish. But there was 2 of those, and seconds later, a deer snorted twice, and then dead silence. Now, when deer are telling everybody, hey, there's danger here, they don't stop snorting until they're gone. Mm-hmm. They just keep it up down through the woods. 2 snorts, gone. The next night, the exact same thing. The sound was a little bit softer from the Bigfoot, and I'm thinking he's further away. And 2 seconds later, 2 snorts from a deer and nothing. And then the third night, the exact same thing, only this time the Bigfoot sounds were a lot quieter. And I could barely hear them, but the 2 deer snorts, no question, and nothing. So I'm thinking that they're eating real good around here. The deer population here is, I'm from Pennsylvania. I grew up in a day when you could go out spotting and see 200 deer. Mm-hmm. Down here, I saw a doe last year walking up the side of one of the roads, and she had 7 fawns with her. I never heard of a deer doing babysitting. She had to be.
Yeah.
These were all little.
I've heard of that before.
I think three kills 3 nights in a row. Tonight we'll see. Hopefully I hear it again.
Well, if they're feeding a family.
Yeah, really.
I imagine
that's the other thing.
I imagine those big suckers can put away some meat.
I am a brand new grandpa. My daughter is a type 2 diabetic. There was a lot of complications. The baby is still in the hospital getting adjusted to a normal sugar level, and she's coming up. She was really low, and she's coming up, and we have no idea how long she's going to be there. But I told Danielle, when the baby comes here, juvenile Bigfoots love babies. They come around when they hear them.
You're going to take your grandchild out.
Time to take the baby squatching.
Bigfoot Bri, you're taking your grandchild out squatching early, huh?
That's right.
I'm just going to stand by the house and hopefully she'll cry or something. Because that'll... Uh-oh.
What was that?
That's good.
Are we getting rained on?
Thunder. Yeah, they're calling for it. So far it happened.
Bigfoot Bri, I got to ask you, I mean, you saw this thing... Were you more scared, more in shock, more amazed? How did you feel through the whole process? Were you paralyzed?
At first, absolutely. I mean, I literally tried to jump out of my skin, and then I just stood there like, what the heck do I do? She's standing there looking at me. I know she can outrun me to the truck. Truck's 60 feet behind me. If I turn and run, she's going to have me in 4 steps. Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, I almost forgot. After the incident, the encounter, I went to the Withlacoochee State Forest office, and a lady there who had already been to and told her everything I knew about Bigfoot. She was a very captive audience, and she loved it. I stopped there the Tuesday after the sighting, and walked in, and she's all excited. Oh, my God, I'm so glad you're here. Why? Some guy made a report last week. What? She goes, yeah, some guy stopped here on Friday. And he says, look, Thursday night in my headlights, I saw something very tall, very dark, and very big. And he did 3 steps across County Road 41 and was across the highway in 3 steps. And he says, I'm here to tell you that. I don't know what it was. I'm telling you right now, I ain't giving you my name. Goodbye. And that was the report.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of people are timid to come on. We've spoke to a lot of people, including yourself, and I appreciate you coming on again. It's awesome that you're on here telling the story. But a lot of people will tell you, no, I don't want to come on. I don't want to say anything. And some will say, you can share my story. Some will just say, yeah, I've seen something, and that's all you get out of them. But some will, go to the length and are enthused like you. So we appreciate it so much. Anything else going on right there where you're at? I know you said you go out frequently and you hear things, see things.
As long as lightning and thunder stays away. Let me turn you around. I always go up above the tree, the star structure, up in there. and that's where I parked the truck. And to all the really, really hard chargers out there, look, here's what you do. A, you don't walk around with a camera in your hands. B, don't carry a gun. You can have them. Keep them hidden. They'll know they're there, but they're going to know you have them. And when you go out, don't hunt. Don't seek. Don't act like you're trying to find them, because it scares them and they go away and you'll never see them. And the other thing I want to say to everybody out there, hey, I'm a nobody. I've just had really, really good luck. And I think I have a really good heart, and I think they sense that. Mm-hmm. But what I also want to say is, folks, you're not going to believe this, but Bigfoot is everywhere. I lived in Pennsylvania on the New York border. I've seen tree structures in New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Florida. Now, if that isn't a mix, I mean,
Bigfoot Bri, they've been spotted everywhere but Hawaii. Do you know that?
Yeah.
Every state but Hawaii.
I heard that the other day, and I'm trying to find out if anybody's seen one in Hawaii.
Brian, were you telling me there's something else out there?
Yeah, they got some little little people that live in the forest out there.
Pygmy or something.
Yeah, I don't remember what they're called, but yeah, they're like little mini.
Bigfoot Bri, do you go anywhere else and go squatching in the United States?
Oh, definitely Florida. When I'm home, I go in Pennsylvania. Ohio, I only went one day with one guy, and it was just an experience. We didn't see anything or find anything, unfortunately. But my two hot spots are definitely here in Florida. I know they're in Florida. Oh my gosh. When I became Bigfoot believer and got in there and I started mentioning with the coochie, holy cow, where? And we don't like to give that up. I mean, I tell everybody I'm in Buchanan, Virginia. That won't do you any good. Other than the fact that they're here.
Gotcha. Yeah, I told you we were in Florida in January, and we went into the Myakka River State Park, and we're doing some squatching out there. I got my wife to go some really back desolate trails. I don't even know if they might have been horse trails. I don't know what they were, but yeah, she wasn't too pleased with what I had her. But
my wife would never do that.
Yeah, but it was crazy. It was weird. We we pulled up and there was these people sitting there. Brian, I was telling you the story, and there was like 3 or 4 people. They were coming back to their car off this trail, and the guy's sitting in his car and he's doing something with his phone, and he's trying to play a song, and he says, "I'm trying to play the song Running Bear." And I don't know if I know that song. If you guys know that song,
I know that song. Yeah,
I don't know anything.
But I'm trying to think, why is he yelling? And then he gets out of the truck and he's like, they're laughing to each other, like, yeah, I'm trying to, like, something happened that they should play the song Running Bear. And I didn't make the connection until later. I'm like, did they think they saw a running bear? And maybe that's not what they saw. I mean, we're in Myakka River State Park where there's been sightings. That's why I'm here. So I don't know what that was, but that was kind of crazy.
The craziest one that I love is the story from North Carolina. 3-year-old boy goes in the woods and he's lost for 2 days. And when they finally find him, he said, a bear took care of me.
Oh, my gosh.
A bear would never have taken care of a 3-year-old.
A bear would have ate him.
Absolutely ate him.
A bear took care of me.
We all in the Bigfoot community are like, yes, they do that kind of thing.
Right.
I believe that. I believe that wholeheartedly.
Oh, same here.
Yep.
They're not and that's the other thing too. Everybody, when you see all these movies, I've seen one good movie that Bigfoot wasn't a devil. All the rest of them, they're ripping and tearing people apart. I mean, come on, get real. Right. That's not what these things are.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. There are bad ones out there. There are absolutely bad ones out there. And I believe wholeheartedly that those ones have had experiences where one of their wives was killed by a hunter. And I think that turned them the other way.
It's very possible.
That wouldn't surprise me. That'd have the same effect on a human,
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, they could think. I mean, their minds. Look, these things are smart, intelligent. I don't. Obviously, they're not as smart as humans. I don't think they can create fire. I think that's one of the differences, obviously. But they're smart.
They're
enough
pretty
to,
smart.
Yeah, they're smart enough to know. I mean, when they see a gun, they know what a gun is. You know.
Well, they've been around long enough. They know. Yeah.
They're taught that.
I forgot to mention when I had those slaps on the, like I said, slaps, not knocks, on the RV door. How did they know to hit the door?
Well,
They've been watching me.
They've been
watching you go in and out.
that door.
Watching me go in and out of that door.
Yeah, they know that's a way into your domain.
That's right.
Absolutely. And they
they're not dumb.
They probably saw you walk out that door with a sandwich in your hand, is what I'm guessing.
Oh, here's another one for the Bigfoot folks.
All right.
You are gifting with Bigfoot. I'll give you the Bigfoot candy that they absolutely love. They are really fond of fish. And I mean, to the point of showing themselves. A gentleman that I'm coaching from California is in Willow Creek. My God, that's the mecca of Bigfoot. That's where Patty. He was hooking his boat up to the trailer, had his back to the boat, turned around, and on the other side of the boat was a Bigfoot standing there looking at him. That close.
When was this?
He didn't say when. I just read this story here very recently on Bigfoot Believers.
Okay.
But as soon as I saw that, I immediately texted him. I said, "Did you have fish in the boat?" And he goes, "Yeah, I did. Why?" I said, "Because I think Bigfoot has a sweet tooth for fish." There's videos out there of Bigfoot stealing stringers to get the fish.
They're not good fishermen, huh?
And I told him this, and I said, "Look, dude, if you are near Patty loves fish. Todd Standing went there like 3-4 years ago and found her in that same area." And I said, "If you got Patty nearby," I said, "Did she have boobs?" And he goes, "Are you kidding me? I was so scared to death I couldn't notice anything."
The only time a man doesn't look at a woman's breasts, right?
Yeah, right. He's scared.
He says, "No, I was petrified." I said, "But she ran away," or he. And he goes, "Well, yeah." And I said, "Well, here's what you do. You find their point of entry. And you go over there in a really nice spot, someplace very, very open that you can see, and you put a piece of salmon down there or a piece of trout, and I'll guarantee you're going to bring in somebody because they love fish." I saw a pond video. These guys are fishing a pond, and they're doing really well with crappies, and they had a stringer full, and they videotape, video a Bigfoot running in and grabbing their stringer and hauling ass.
I want to see it.
Yeah, I want to see that too.
That's
good to know.
There's no way of finding older videos. I don't know how long I saw that.
No, there's got to be an archive somewhere.
There's some Todd Standing stuff. Where did you see this? I said, "Todd did it." Where? And I go to look for it, and I can't find it.
Somebody's removing videos.
Yeah, especially I really wanted people to realize, not scare them, but be on the lookout that there are some mean ones out there. And if you start hearing massive tree breaks and they're moving and they're getting closer, get the hell out, because you ran into a big guy who doesn't like people.
It also seems like geographically, some of the meaner ones are Southwest Texas, Arkansas. It seems like it's from what I've heard and seen that's what strikes me.
Yeah, I've heard
the
that
ones
too.
Up in the Pacific Northwest,
you get
for the most part,
the ones that are in the heat and that they tend to be smaller and more aggressive.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, we were planning a trip to Arizona next year.
Be careful.
Yeah, really. I know the two stories that I was talking about. The one was from Kentucky, and the other one's from Alberta.
Really?
Yeah.
So, Bigfoot Bri, you've seen
We're
one.
not far from Kentucky.
Yeah, it's true. Bigfoot Bri, you've seen Bigfoot. You've experienced a lot of Bigfoot. You're out there still searching, hunting. What's your theory? Is Bigfoot a flesh and blood creature, or is it a paranormal, alien-related, spiritual kind of thing? What are you thinking here? Why haven't we found a body? Or, I'm sorry. Why don't we know the proof, the existence of these things? What do you think?
I hate that side of it. I think that there's a possibility they're tied together, but I don't want to think about it. I don't want to talk to people about it because it's too out there. You know what? Let's find out for sure, and so that everybody knows these things really exist, right. And we need to stop killing them. You see what they're doing in Missouri, is it? No.
The hunting?
Louisiana.
Is it
Oklahoma? They're going to try and track down and capture a Bigfoot?
Well, it's a lie. It's a lie.
Yeah, a lie.
You're not going to capture. You're not going to capture.
Are you kidding me?
Unless you have a tranquilizer that's enough to take one down, and you're a hell of a shot and get that close.
Better have one big enough to take down an elephant.
Good luck.
Yeah, but you know what? If you do go out and try and do that, the family's coming after you. Dude, if you can't get out of the woods in time,
yeah, we've heard that
dead.
too. Yeah.
You're dead meat.
Yeah.
Bigfoot Bri, do you think these things have been around since man, before man, along with man? Do you think there could be a missing link here? They talk about how they look a lot like a human, more so than an ape. What do you think? Do you think they could be Neanderthal related?
Honestly, I don't know where they fit in the chain of events that became us humans. I think they're an offshoot. And I think that, the dinosaurs all died off. And I think they died off because they were so damn big. They couldn't live on this earth being that size. You buy a German or a St. Bernard dog, 8-10 years, you're lucky to get out of them. Yeah. Anything big like that. So you got Giganticus epithecus, which we know their DNA is in Bigfoot DNA, but they were huge, 15 foot. And their bones are all over the world in caves and stuff like that. And the DNA is all out there. I think these guys are an offshoot somewhere between there and humans and decided to stay there instead of humans. They don't like our technology. They don't like anything to do with us except for gifting. They do like gifting. Barb and Gabby up in Ontario. Barb died. Those two were gifting all the time. And the coolest part, they would put out a brand new jar of peanut butter. And the jar has a lid. You got to unscrew, and it's got a seal you have to take off. And they'd eat all the peanut butter, and they wouldn't destroy the jar. It's plastic. They wouldn't destroy it. She'd put out a huge apple pie, and they would eat it, and the plastic cover would be intact, and the foil wouldn't be all smashed up, and it was picked clean.
I'll bet you after that peanut butter, they ran their asses down to the river and got some water.
Yeah, I bet they did.
It makes sense. I like peanut butter, so why wouldn't they like peanut butter?
Yeah, same here.
They're like just sticking it to the roof of their mouth.
Universal language. Yep.
I would always, I think if I lived somewhere where I could gift these creatures, I would go to Little Caesars and buy as many $5 pizzas as I could and just stack them out there and let them just have a heyday.
We don't want to do that to Bigfoot, man.
No,
oh man,
not a good thing.
They have to run for weeks.
Yeah, let's just stick with the all natural fish and stuff.
It's pizza, man.
Yeah, we don't need to get them hooked on pizza. I got
another quick story for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Colorado Bigfoot got involved with some people in Maryland. Please come out and help us. We don't know what we're doing. They're definitely here. So he meets them at a GPS coordinate. He's there early. How do you determine how long it takes to go from Colorado to Maryland? So he gets there early, and he starts walking around, and all of a sudden he can hear noise. He couldn't quite put a finger on it, and he comes up over a little rise, and there's Interstate 95 right in front of him. And he's got a trackway that's all wore out going that way. So he goes up there, and he opens his camera up to the side of the road. You got the road, you got the berm, you got the gully, and maybe a fence, and then 8, what are they called? Perches. There was 8 perches. Bigfoot, just like me when I was a hunter. Man, if you're going to be in the woods and you want to turn, you got to clean that floor out so that there's nothing but you and mud. and you won't make any noise. They had 8 cleaned out perches, and they all had pine cones around them. They eat pine cones. Incredible.
I've heard that. I've heard that.
Yeah, it's like a treat for them. And these guys are using I-95 as a movie theater. They're right beside the highway at night.
Makes sense. Probably throwing pine cones at cars.
That's their entertainment.
Let's watch them freak out. Throw it at that car.
That's how curious they are.
They obviously see more of us than we see of them. So.
Oh, for sure.
No,
for sure. I believe that.
I mean, my philosophy is, if you're within 5 miles of a Bigfoot, they're going to know it.
Oh, absolutely.
And they're going to let you get as close as they want to let you get.
Right.
And that's the other thing that I tell newcomers. When I go in the woods, you can tell I'm in the woods. I mean, I am loud. And I tell them, look, you don't want to walk up on the big guy and scare him because you walk so quietly.
Yeah.
I whistle, I make noise, I break branches, I do all kinds of stuff to let them know I'm coming. And hopefully they're going to come out and see who the hell's making all this noise.
Well, just us as human beings in the woods is awkward. So we're not quiet. We're not quiet people. So
the big guy stalks me.
They know as soon as we hit the woods.
I tell you, other than driving up in my car and getting out and parking and shutting my door, once I'm on the trail, I try to be fairly quiet. I don't want to arouse anything that I don't need to arouse naturally. Is what I'm saying. That's just kind of my nature.
Yeah, but that's not good either. I mean, even if mountain lions, bears, you need to let them know you're there too.
Yeah,
you don't want to sneak up on a bear.
Yeah, you'll scare them off before you ever see them.
Just start whistling or what have you as you're cruising down.
Any naturalist will tell you that. Make noise.
Shows how much I know.
Rod Standing has a suit that has copper lining. They sense us. They sense our electrical output. He put that copper lining suit on and went out and was absolutely flabbergasted as to how well it worked. He snuck up on them and they had no clue. But then they did figure out that he was there. Oh, were they pissed.
You saying that makes me feel like there's a supernatural thing to this with that energy and that kind of thing.
Think about thousands of years being in the woods and having to know everything about the woods.
Yeah, they're just more in tune with nature than we are.
Exactly. Absolutely correct.
I mean, for all we know, we may have come from them. I mean, it's possible.
I'm gonna agree with Bigfoot Bri or with his earlier statement and say that they're an offshoot. Even Meldrum said that we for a long time we thought it was a straight line for and then now we know that it's all branched off and goes in different directions. And
absolutely.
So yeah,
I like to twist the tail a little bit and see what's going on. So hey,
that's all right. Yeah, we got to have you.
Bigfoot Bri, you got anything else for us you want to talk about? We'll bring you back again for another episode for sure. Once we get some more dialogue going on, you want to come back on. But
anything down in Florida you've run into?
We haven't even talked about Roanoke.
Oh my goodness,
there's a lot here.
Yeah. We can definitely do that on another episode for sure. But
heck yeah, man!
I love doing this. Oh man,
heck yeah, we can bring you on a regular basis because shit, you can just walk around Roanoke and
if you've got information to share, you're finding stuff, you're seeing stuff, or
absolutely
you just want to come on as a guest and talk. Yeah, we're enticing that for sure. Yep, we want to have as many people on talking about. Our goal here is to prove existence.
Yeah,
as many ways as possible. And I think by getting that through as many people as we can and sharing that with people and people listening, we can help prove this theory one way or the other.
I heard today, or I read today online, that Washington State has a no-kill order for Bigfoot.
That's probably true.
That's true. I heard that.
Really?
Too. Yep.
Oh, that's so cool. There should be
that's how 50. It should be nationwide.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not against. I won't say that I'm for or against killing one. If it means proving existence and that's the only way it's going to take to do it, then okay. But I don't think that's the case because, as I've said 100 times, I think that the government is covering this up. So if you kill one, they're going to take
unless it's a life or death situation.
Yeah,
where it's you or them.
Even then, forget it.
There's no way. Yeah, there's.
But I've said before, I don't need to know. I don't need the government or the world to say that Bigfoot exists. If I see one for myself,
if I see one for myself,
that's all I need.
Yep.
And that's why I envy you, Bigfoot Bri, but I'm happy for you.
I'm jealous.
Some people may have pissed their pants and been scared as hell, but I'm glad you stood out and stayed strong and enjoyed it and could tell us about it, man.
Yeah, that was a great
Thanks
story.
for having me, guys.
Thanks for being on. We appreciate it. We'll get you back on for sure. Brian, you got any last words or anything for Bigfoot Bri?
Just, again, thank you. Thank you for that. That was really cool. Just keep your eyes open, man. Keep your camera handy and let us know if you have come across any more.
Will do. Maybe tonight. I'm going to stay out.
That'd be great. Heck yeah.
All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up. Bigfoot Bri, we will talk to you soon, and stay safe out there, and let us know when you find something else going on, and hit us up, man.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, everybody. Appreciate you listening. If you want to get a hold of us, if you've had an encounter or seen a cryptid creature of any kind, reach out to us at info@cryptidcreatures.co.
That's right. Our Instagram at Cryptid Creatures. Twitter at Cryptid Creature 1. No E on the end of creature.
Right. Facebook too, Brian?
Yep. Cryptid Creatures.
All right. Yep. So please get a hold of us. We'd love to talk to you, hear your story, and possibly get you on the show.
Yep. And if you don't want to come on, if you want to be anonymous, then we can do that too.
Exactly.
You can email it to us and we can read it.
Yep.
Right on the air.
Happy to do that too.
Yep. Absolutely.
All right, guys. We'll be waiting to hear from you. We'll be in touch. Brian, take care, man.
Yep. You guys have a good night. And then remember, when you're out in the woods, keep your eyes and ears open. Let us know what you see and hear.
Right on. Take care.
See ya.